Copy. Oh, I got to remember to. Yep. All right, got it. Oh, where did it go? Oh. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, shoot. Come on. Let me select this. Egads. So, welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. I'm just doing, I ended my other stream a little late, so I'm starting this one a little late. And I shared the link with Scott McCullough so that we can discuss Sins of Fae. Oh, you know what? Let me see something here. Let's get to the right one. That's right. Outlaw Knights. Where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, I had Outlaw Knights there already. By golly. It's called Sins of the Fae. There we go. You know what? I gotta get some stuff out of my way. Let me share this. Boom. Okay. Sins. All right. All right. Sweet. All right. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba ba. Uh-oh. I mixed up the text. Ah, shoot. Bloody hell. Uh-oh. How did I screw that up? Um, Ooh, yo, yo, yo. Man, I screwed up bad, it looks like. Holy moly. Buddy Lord, I got Buddy Lord. Oh, frick. All right. Shit. Sheeped it. Oh, you know what? I think I can change it from crab puppies. All right, so that, edit, go in, Buddy Lord, Buddy Lord, Buddy Lord. I am so sorry. Freaking A. Hey there. Buddy.
Hey, what's up,
Hello.
man?
Oh, all right. Let me try and fix this. This is crazy. All right. So, evidently, it looks like what I did was I copied and pasted the body and then forgot to change the name up top.
Mm-hmm.
So still had Scott's name. Crap. Just a moment. Let me see if I can fix this real quick.
Sure, man. No problem.
Good Lord. Sins of Fae, Buddy Lord, save. Edit. YouTube. Man, this sucks. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Did you say you broke your leg?
Yeah, I messed up my foot, man, in a car accident.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yep. But it's life.
Right. Yeah. An error occurred on YouTube is usually temporary. Wait a moment, then try again. Well, that sucks. All right. Buddy Lord. Oh, maybe it's because. Oh, jeez. Maybe it's because the. No, but that doesn't make sense. Why would it have an issue? I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure something out here. Let me see if I can edit it this way. Because I want it to be accurate. How's your day today?
I'm all right.
Mom, you can't do that.
Went to a checkup. Just been chilling. Otherwise, it has been. It's been kind of a slow day.
On your checkups, do you have to wear a mask and everything?
Yeah, but the doctor wasn't. So that was almost like. I was like, really, dude? Okay. And then he put one on, but then he kept pulling it down, and I'm like, that doesn't do anything when you do that. It's like taking the top off a pot, when it's cooking. You release everything. All
Yeah,
the built up heat gone.
yeah, for
So,
sure. Yeah.
all them germs and bacteria, you just gave them all to me, bro. I got them all. Thanks.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Let me see. Excuse me. I think I'm close Let me see. Edit. What? That's supposed to be changed. I think it has something to do with YouTube being my primary thing I stream to. And since it's already live, um, they won't let me change it. But they'll let me change it for all the other stupid YouTube. All right. Let me do one more thing.
Sure.
So that's the IGG link. This is the YouTube link.
You mind if I invite my colorist?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, I didn't want to assume that I could do that.
Not a problem. No, by all means. Uh, Sins of the Well, you know what? I'll just do it this way. This should display it. Profile. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, there we go. And then,
Was that WyzGyz?
yeah. I'm just posting social media here. Come on, come on. Do you have a YouTube open?
I had one open for a second. We're live.
Yeah. Yeah, I typically have one open so that I can keep an eye now and then to see if YouTube's algorithm bot has false flagged me and taken me down. So, all right. Wow, that was a rocky start. I'm so sorry about that.
No problem, man.
Do you already show? Oh, there it is. Hey, ZVS, welcome.
Hey, good evening. How we doing?
Good, good. You came at a good time because I was dealing with technical difficulties. Thank you both for your patience. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host Wyman. We are fortunate to have some very special guests, Buddy Lord and Zevius of the book Sins of the F.A.M.I.L.Y. So let me take a look here. I was going to play the intro video on Sins of the F.A.M.I.L.Y. here. Let's watch. So cool.
Boom. Yeah.
So cool. So, Buddy, how did this even begin? You know, you're releasing a comic book on Indiegogo. It shows that you've got one campaign. Is this your very first project?
Yeah, this is the first project that I've ever had, and came about, I don't know, pretty similar way as everybody else. I saw The Last Jedi and hated it so much that I actually started joining forums and different things to complain about it. And, in the process of that, I came across Ethan. And then there was the whole ComicsGate thing, and I was like, what is this stuff? So I listened to him on his show a couple of times, and these were people that shared my rage at at all entertainment being destroyed and usurped, and I was just like, I gotta get in, I gotta do something with this. So, at first it was, I was just gonna get into it, but then being a writer myself, I decided that I needed to be a part of it. And I've never made a comic book, so it was a learning process for me. I needed to learn how to I have been writing poetry, prose, short stories, and that kind of thing for about 12 years,
Whoa,
including editing.
nice.
Yeah, I was under various pseudonyms. My first, like, my first poem was published nationally at 12.
Whoa,
Uh, yeah,
nice.
so I've been doing a lot of that. And then I put together this book. This is about a five manuscript is what we call it, because it's not really a book or a novel yet. It's five manuscripts. This is chapter one of book one.
Mm. All right, all right.
You might want to refresh. I think you got to. It's a slightly older version that you have there, so there
That's
could be some. I know I've been changing some things on it.
all right. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, 50 days left.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just getting
So
started.
So I'm kind of confused at this Indiegogo thing. So do you do you do a funding event of 60 days to start?
you can do you can do 30 or 60. I think you can do any amount, like between 1 and 60. Like you choose how many days you want to do.
Okay.
But then as long as you fulfill your goal on a fixed goal, you can go in demand for as long as you want,
Mm,
and you can keep the whole store up if you want. So including back end perks and those sort of deals. So there's not really any ending to it. Like the in demand is more or less just the biggest thing about the in demand, I believe, or excuse me, the funding, I believe, is that they will advertise you more during your funding period than your in demand period.
yeah, yeah. From my understanding, once you're fully funded, then they start ramping up the promotion for your book and you get more eyes on it.
Exactly. That's why everybody drops it to 500 to 1,000, because if you suspect you're going to get over that and you're going to get what you need, then you just put it as low as possible, which is the 500.
Right, exactly. As low as possible. As much as you can afford to drop it. And 500.
Yeah. Well, mhm.
Oh, I meant, after you've done all the math and determined just how much it'll cost for you to produce your work, whether or not you have to hire any talent, and how much it's going to cost you to do all the shipping as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've got a lot of talent on this. Like the line artist for the comic book for the interiors and the cover so far is Joe Sanchez at Hosan Art. He's amazing, fantastic artist. And the coloring is Zevious.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Uh, so, buddy, you're the author, you're the storyteller. You've got the story probably mapped out across all the chapters and books,
Hmm.
and then you've got a couple. You got an artist to do the line work. You said the sketching and the line art, and then
Yeah, that's Joe Sanchez.
Joe Sanchez, and then you've got Devious, the color artist, or the colorist rather.
Hmm.
That's pretty wicked. I like the work. I like the choice in colors. love the poses because it displays kinetic energy. It conveys the physicality, and I like the blending of the ethereal like colors there. What would you say? How would you describe the story? What is it about?
Well, basically, Nikki's been afflicted with a fey ritual called the White Stag. She's marked to be hunted across all of the seven realms by these magic sniffing Angus, a breed of black shadowy hound used by Fae to drag people to their death. Humans dislike Nikki because she's a witch, and the Fae hate her because they think she killed her husband, the Lord of Viridis.
Hmm.
The coven that she left behind no longer exists. Her former sisters are either in chains or dead. So she's on her own, and she's got to face the sins of her past for her children to have a future.
Huh. Okay. Would you say this involves some level of time travel?
Not really time travel. It's just happened over. She's being thrust because of her choice of husband into the middle of a eons long war between two like warring basically godlike factions.
Huh. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's equipped with a revolver, right?
Yes.
And that likely plays into her being forced into this world. Um, does it, for example, I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding, but does she begin in like present day and then she's like thrust into this alternate timeline or reality?
Well, it's kind of different. Like you have like our world, right? And
Okay.
then around our world, you have seven other realms that are connected to us through a sort of they're tangential, but in a kind of invisible dimension kind of way. When they pass through and visit each other, they're all connected as they end. They're all the seven Fey realms, and if they want to visit one another, we're the bridge. They have to go through us to visit each other. Okay,
Mm.
her husband was one of the lords of these realms. His name was Owen,
All right.
and she summoned him to her realm, to what they call the Crossroads, our world. And she married him and became, had children with him basically. But the story starts in one of the Fey realms called the Amber Isles, and she's on her own, taking care of her daughters and that kind of thing. The reason why she has some of this accoutrement, like the revolver that you
Uh-huh.
noticed, and the goggles and the bracer, is because of what she does. Like she takes care of a sanctuary, she deals with animals. She's basically like a vet and herbologist, and a little bit of a medic, for the area. She makes most of her money just she has this tree called uruku, which is a silver oak, and it's a magical oak tree that can spawn any plant from its branches, from its seed. Anything can come from it. So what she does is, she'll pray. She lives in a place called the Amber, or called Padoris, and it's a human settlement. It's where humans come to the Fey realms to get acclimated to the Fey. They're learning about the Fae, and the Fae learn about them so that they learn not to hate each other, you know. And so she makes plants and trees and that kind of thing for people that come there, and they're like, because the stuff of our world is exotic there, you know. So like a pine tree is exotic there. So she'll get a pine cone from Uruku and then grow the tree and then give it to people around the area, that kind of thing. But I mean, that's not covered very much. Mostly she's just like at the beginning, she gets cursed and she's cursed to be hunted. She doesn't know that yet. She actually looks through the curse and sees through the eyes of the hunter, and she realizes it's these animals that are hunting, her, people just like her coven. And then as she breaks herself from that dream, she sees that this hound is attacking, her own daughter. And this kind of puts her into the middle of a war that she never cared about. She never wanted to be in any of this. She just wanted to be a mom. And all of a sudden, she has to, get a power that she never wanted to bother with, learn things she never wanted. sacrifice a lot to protect her children and her own future.
Wow.
And the she doesn't time travel, but like chemistry works different in some of the Fey realms. So like the gun doesn't it fires big bullets, but mostly it fires these glass ampules of kind of like somatic components. So she's firing spells.
Wow. Damn, check this out. That's really cool. How long in the making was this story? I mean, had you mulled over it on and off for years, or was it some? Are you like the type of writer who can think, all right, I want to make a book, and then slam it out in a weekend or something?
Nah, I'm not a seat by your pants writer. I'm not they call that, there's another name for it, but I call it like flying by the seat of your pants, a pants writer, that can just do it in 8 hours. Like Stephen King's like that. He'll sit down for 20 hours, write a book, and he's done. I can't do that. It's taken me 10 years to write the 5 manuscripts for this book.
Yeah, just checking out the work. So how did you connect with the artist and Xevious the colorist? Did you like do a
Well,
talent search, or do you know?
I hired the wrong people at first. I was hiring studio artists from like Mexico, Argentina. One was from like the Philippines, and I was paying for this work, and I was seeing it, and it was just so vapid and vacuous. There was no life to any of the art. It was stiff. The gesture was horrible. I couldn't tell what anybody was thinking by looking at their face. And so I was like, all right, the anatomy's here, and that's it. you know? So I wasn't into it. And I started looking around for, at first I said, you know what, I need a logo. And I found Xevious. He was making logos and stuff for, it was Jeremy, wasn't it?
At that point, I think I'd done the first one for Cyberfrog, actually, and Jeremy, yeah, for Geeks and Gamers.
Okay, so he did a logo for. I didn't know about the one for Ethan at that time, but I saw the one on your Twitter for Jeremy, a D-Day Prime for the Phantom Menace guy, and I was like, oh, that's exactly what I want. So I reached out to him and we talked for 3 hours while he made some rough cuts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn. And the logo you're referring to, which one is that? Is it this one here? Late Night Productions?
Well, he made that one too, but it's the Sins of the Fae logo is the one we're referring to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, the cover logo right there. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Do you do all this digitally, Xevious, or do you do it by hand and then import it or scan it in?
Well, like, I mean, I do art full time. I've been doing this for about 20 years.
Wow.
I run an advertising agency, so I do, branding is my main, that's what mainly pays the bills. I like working with Sharpies and Sketchbook, and then I'll pull up my iPhone, take a shot, send it over to my iPad or maybe to my desktop. I've got 2 workstations.
Oh, nice.
So I just do whatever sort of keeps it kind of fresh. Like I've worked at 2 different desks today.
All
and
right.
I took a break with my iPad and just sort of did some drawing. So it all comes out the same in the end. I get bored quickly. So I need to bounce between media.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you started off with the wrong team, and that it wasn't giving your story any life. So you replaced them with your current crew, and it looks like for the better, for sure. This is good stuff, and I love the color work, Xevious. Damn.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I get told it's pretty out there. I'm not afraid of color. Through practice, I know how to use it.
Sure.
I like to get stuff intense where it's merited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
There's a lot of energy through these action scenes, which is cool. Okay, and then you can't believe broke down the story. So working on fulfillment and printing, production costs for line art, coloring, and lettering have already been met. So you get a 48-page book.
Hmm.
You also get runic alphabet, concept sketches, and more. Nice. So is by runic alphabet, are you talking like on one of the pages it breaks down the entire alphabet, or on a separate sheet or print?
Well, we're planning on. I mean, it's close enough now. I could say we're going to make 3,000, and at 3,000, we're going to create these bookmarks that are basically like a decoder ring. They're going to have the Greek alphabet that we created. The idea was that the girls are Viking witches, more or less,
Mm-hmm.
and to cast their spells, they use the same words that Odin did when the myth of the world tree that Odin stabs himself and then dies for 7 days, and on the seventh day he looks down and he sees these runic words, and those words became the magic of the world that he could use. That's the words of Odin. So these girls use the words of Odin to cast their magic, and Xevious actually created a runic alphabet to be used in the story. That's what you're seeing if you scroll up and you look at that 1-2 PS again, with the runic word, she's screaming burn in the Odin tongue.
I'm sorry, where do I scroll to?
Right there.
Oh, all right.
Go no, go down. It's a 2-page spread with where the rifle's turning into the dragon.
Let's turn into this dragon. This one right here? Let me see if it's coming up the same way on this one.
Yeah, it's the pinkish one on the mid right side, and it's a texture. It's very manga-ish sort of looking, and there's 4 characters, and actually it's letters BURN. It's her screaming burn.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to texture the book with a lot of that stuff where it's where it's appropriate. Just it's a nice extra level of interest, really. And to do that, we built it's an entire alphabet of unique characters. And I figured the easiest way to work with it would be to actually design a font. It's called Nikki after the main character, and I've got that installed on all my machines now. So
Oh my gosh, how nice is that?
It's kind of fun.
And
yeah,
is there somewhere here on the page where it actually translates the runic characters, or do you basically refer to the bookmark to read? Hell yeah, I guess you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do is make the bookmark like a decoder ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet. Now, how long does it take you to create a runic alphabet from scratch?
It was a medium low priority considering we've got so much to do for a book, but I toyed with it for about 2 months, I guess is my answer. Just played. I studied. There are 3. If you look at runic alphabets that exist, there's 3 main ones. I forget their names. Just wiki stuff. And then I also refer to a fair bit to Klingon and Aurebesh. So it could not be geekier, but cool.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to do the research and to give depth to the story. Not that it already doesn't have lots of depth.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet, though. As the funding progresses, stretch goals will add several perks, which all of those buying the main book will get, i.e. cards, bookmarks, stickers, prints, posters. Very nice. On an aside, with reference to posters, what size dimensions are you guys looking at?
Well, we hadn't quite looked at them yet because that was going to be a little bit higher. We had other things for the goals first. The first goal that we actually have is the bookmark. Then I think we have cards and pins or something. I can't remember. Let me look it out. Look it right here. And then we have a cover that Xevious is doing. And it, it's the concept is just really awesome. I can't wait to see it. He's been working on it, but it's a $15,000 stretch goal because to get it completely done and everything would cost would cost quite a bit, like a pretty penny. But once we reach that, that'll be available to everybody, and then we'll open up a couple new tiers where the cover's available. Plus, like if you want all the covers, that's available, that kind of thing.
Nice. That's pretty sweet. And then let's see here. Stickers. Let me copy that over here because I think I'm spelling it wrong. That's reference. Line art done by Joe Sanchez.
Yep.
So did you find it? Did you basically find both of them through Twitter, buddy?
Yeah, I found both of them on Twitter.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, Twitter's a great place to meet people. I mean, I only got on Twitter just a little over a year ago.
Wow.
I wanted to, again, Star Wars rage going back a couple of years, and I was quiet for a year or more, and discovered Geeks and Gamers, discovered Ethan, discovered your boy Zach. I want to work with these guys, so it didn't take very long to just get their attention and get talking. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's good networking tool
for sure. In the vein of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, bring a fairy tale to capture our attention. Yeah, this sounds pretty wicked, really. Comic over a decade in the making. Yeah, like I said, I love the poses, the action scenes, and all that, and how the color brings it all to life. Risks and challenges.
Yeah.
There's no risk period. It's in the can.
Yep. That was important to state that because some books overreach a little bit, going back over the last year. People, they've got big dreams and they need to make a lot of money to get there. Whereas we're basically, this thing's ready to go.
It's actually done. All you need to do is send it to the printers for print.
We're adding pages all the time.
Oh, okay.
And I'm waiting on some line art today, hopefully, a really cool scene, and then I'll get to coloring that, tonight, tomorrow, and that'll be part of the flow. There's stuff to do, but it's not like we put out 4 drawings and said, hey, we need $10,000-$20,000 to make this happen, right?
Right.
Yeah. We were going to launch in March, and then the situation with Critias happened, and then the sordid details with Martina Marcota were released, and X emailed me immediately and was like, dude, the game has changed. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, we need more material. So we went back to the drawing board and made another, 16 pages.
Yep.
And so now we're back out, and it's like, more, like I said, it's about 90%. We're like 38 or 40 or 48 completely, lettered everything. So we're just waiting on a few things. And then I keep, I'm a writer, and the way that I write is to create kind of a bare bones, what I call the structure of something. And then I go back and I add the connective tissue and the muscle to it. And we have, so I've been studying visual storytelling, and I'm like, okay, I got to change some of this so that we can really capture people's eyes and attention. So I'm adding more work to us.
Yeah, and we're actually at a point where we've got so much done that we're removing fully finished pages. So I mean, we can go in with a scalpel and say, okay, these 3 pages are great. We're going to put them aside and do different ones. And I mean, a page is worth a good few $100, a piece, right? and we can, we have the luxury to do that.
Oh, sure, easily.
So, because it is a matter of putting your best foot forward. This is our first, product for Blade Knight Productions, and we want to put the absolute best product that we can. And so, one of the things is that I was studying like manga, and that's where the runic came in, because they actually have a specific, like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically just a very low key language of their own to express sound, sound effects. And so we created the runic language to be representative of that.
Oh, wow.
And then you also have, sorry?
No, I was just saying that's pretty far out. It's very cool.
Yeah, so we created that, and then we, I was like, okay, we need more conflict at the beginning. So I wrote up another 7 pages, and it's going to be just pure like Vinland Saga shonen anime. You're just going to see something that's completely awesome. The action is going to grip people right away.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, who's doing the lettering?
Oh, the lettering? Yeah, that's me too.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you doing it by hand, or are you using something like InDesign?
Yeah, my workflow is, like anybody else. I use Procreate on iPad.
Oh, sweet.
And then and Photoshop, of course, to composite things. And that goes to Illustrator for lettering.
Oh.
And then that all gets pulled into InDesign for production files.
Oh, damn. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's so impressive.
Cool.
And you guys are already talking about taking it on the road, bringing them to comic conventions. Hopefully they start reopening them.
Yeah, can't wait. I would love to. I'm lucky to, I'm involved with the Eisners in San Diego, the Comic-Con, and I've done that 4 years running, minus last year.
Okay.
It's tiring. Excuse me. It's a tiring thing to do, but if I can just put my feet up and just talk to fans, talk about what we do, that'd be a great long weekend.
Oh yeah, it would be.
Mm-hmm. Have you been to Comic-Con?
Years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to live in California.
Okay.
Yeah. Holy crap! Sorry. I used to go to comic book conventions and also computer conventions because I'm in IT.
Yeah.
And it was always fun checking those out.
Mm-hmm.
So were you like in what some refer to as an artist alley?
Actually, I've only been there as it's funny. I'm 501st Legion, so I'm a Stormtrooper guy.
Oh shit. Cool.
And my wife works with the Eisners.
Oh.
In fact, she's the entertainment for the after party as well, literally. So I just get, I'm just lucky to have had, all access passes for, full everything, full accommodation in the Hilton there.
Oh my gosh, how nice.
Yeah. So,
out of curiosity, you're obviously, if it's too personal, you don't have to share. Did you guys meet at a convention?
Oh, me and wife, you mean?
Yeah.
No, she stalked me on Facebook for a couple of years.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a long story. It's a fun story. I won't get into it, but yeah, just Facebook, social media.
So freaking cool. Yeah, usually it's the guys who are chasing after the girls.
Nah, I do things.
Nice to see it happen the other way around now and then.
Okay.
Nah, let's see here. So I am just kind of floored and flabbergasted that I'm really enjoying the artwork and the colors. So, buddy, you said that you do like you do like a rough outline, if you will, kind of like an outline, but it's like the bare bones story structure wise, and then you fill it in with the muscle and whatnot.
Yeah.
Before you hand it off to the artist, the penciler, do you go through the step of drawing thumbnails or anything like that? Or do you just give them the words to work off of?
No, I usually just give Joe words. I used to, when we first started, I was trying to be a mini director, and I don't have the head camera for that. I don't have the ability to see the shots in my head as well as he does. So I stopped doing that, and I just said, this is what I want to see. And I would, if I needed, a specific image in the panel, I would say, okay, this is a turn page. The last panel needs to be this. Like there's a point, there's one of these images where it's Granny and she's fading away and she's sacrificing herself. It's basically she's already a ghost and she's sacrificing her memory so that Nikki can stay alive, because Nikki doesn't know how to use the runic word. She doesn't know how to use the magic. She just never wanted to learn it. And, so now in order to protect her family, her grandmother says, okay, well, you're going to hex me. And so she hexes her. And every time Nikki wants to use a spell, she has to forget a memory from her grandmother.
Oh.
And so it's a memory for a memory, the memory of her and her grandmother in exchange for the memory of a spell. And it was, on that page, she's handing her the rifle because it's got to be a connection. There's got to be a totem between the person that you hexed to be able to use their magic. And so she's giving her the rifle and she's saying, I'll always be with you. And I wanted the last panel on that page to be that the rifle clatters to the ground, because Nikki can't quite get to it. She's still got to hold this fire away from them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trippy.
Yeah, I think back to your question. Some writers like to over control, I think, a little bit, and they'll do, they'll set every single page up, and it'll be like panel 1, camera top left, over the shoulder, medium shot, blah blah blah, like something, and that could be okay. I mean, if you know what you're doing. I've my whole life I've been studying, storyboards and all of my favorite directors. I was sharing months ago, Ridley Scott's direction to I forget, Sherman Labbe did the first Blade Runner, for example, in charcoal. They're brilliant. Or how James Cameron is actually a great artist in his own right. But a lot of writers are just, they write. It's better to have the artist maybe figure out from their, in Joe's words, their head camera, how they would do it. So we stay out of Joe's way. I do too, actually, as much as I'm a storyboard artist as well. But it's fun to see what he comes up with.
Right.
Yeah.
Check out other artist perspectives on things.
Yep.
There's only been a couple of times where we got it back and we're like, this just doesn't work.
Yep.
And I take it as, when I get something like that, I take it as, okay, what can I do? But what can I do to convey, this image better, to convey what I actually want better? I look at it as not the artist's fault, but like as a mutual misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because, what he's doing is giving me a translation of what I give him.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't speak art. I don't speak sequential. I speak prose. I speak writing. I speak storytelling. So he's like, okay, what about this? And I'm like, no, not quite. And then we go back through it and I say, this is what I want. And he says, okay. And sometimes he can, save the page, and other times I have to pay for the page and we got to make a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in fact, I'll give you a good example of that. And it's pretty rare. Like Joe's one of the best I've worked with ever. We got one where just a few days ago, and again, I hope to see a revision on it tonight. It's quite possible. And there's one character who just drove me nuts. Just it didn't look the way I figured it should in the world. And then we all had a meeting, and then Buddy was like, "Nikki's running, but she's not running intensely enough." And we realized that Joe had done her like someone who's jogging towards Granny's trailer, and just in the conversation, Buddy's like, "No, it's got to be parkour." It's like, okay. So,
Oh,
and Joe's awesome. And that's, I mean, it always sounds really lame to talk about it, but it's a team effort. And then Joe comes back a couple days later with these awesome, hand plants and feet up, above level of her ribs, just vaulting over stuff. It's great. So it's now better.
nice. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
and it just takes that sometimes,
Mhm.
And that when he said no, he's like, man, he's like, this is on me. He's like, I'll do it over, and I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
And so he does that. We did have one. I don't want to call it an issue. It's just Joe is a devout Christian, and the story I wrote, there's some like blood magic and that kind of thing, because Nikki is a Viking witch. So I created some like rituals and that sort of thing that were somewhat close to what like a Wiccan would do, and he didn't like those. He did not like depicting that in the comic book. So he actually came to us and he was willing to quit over having to do that. And I said, no, I can work with you. So we changed her kind of magic using ability from being more of like a Viking witch in the manuscript, which there is actually the manuscript is a light novel on Amazon right now. And we did that. Instead of doing that, we kind of turned her into a dragon shaman, is what I'm calling it. She focuses the words of Odin through the dragon in the comic book. And that's going to make it a much more visual element anyway, so it's better for visual storytelling.
For sure.
Yep.
That's interesting. You brought up another cool point that I actually hadn't thought about, where when when the artist is turning in pages and no matter what you hash out, it just isn't working. So you gotta pitch it, and then you end up having it ends up costing you a page of um, a paid page worth, for lack of a better phrase.
Mhm.
And does he do traditional drawing and then take a photo, for example, and then send it to you digitally, or does he also dabble with digital drawing?
I believe he mostly does digital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Joe's Clip Studio on iPad, which is cool. It's a little bit. I've got that too. Procreate's my jam, but Joe likes that one. They have different strings, and we've talked about. I know he does traditional art very well too.
Okay.
It's if you look at people over, especially pros who've been around for a while, it's really hard to tell. I mean, I can look at stuff in mine that goes back a ways, and I might forget whether actually it was done in my sketchbook or on my iPad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's the same thing.
Huh. Yeah. So that's something that Indiegogo creators need to keep in mind, that even if you're working with digital talent, um, they're still putting in the work and time and effort into it, into creating that page. So if a page ends up not working, then you have to be ready to accept that you might have to, just shelve that page and rework a new one. So under stretch goals,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You were saying?
No, I was just saying, yeah, you can't just like calculate your pages and be like, this is exactly how much it's going to cost. You always, the rule of thumb is 20%. You always want to add 20% more to production, so that you have that room to mess up. Because if you have to be perfect, you're gonna screw up. I guarantee it. That's one of the first things. Like these guys learned from some professional artists and that kind of thing to do like Xavier's best friends with a guy named Mike Sass, who's an amazing painter, and they grew up together. One of the guys that I kind of grew up writing with is Marcus Seiki, who's a really famous like he does like crime drama and that kind of thing, novels. And I mean, he was his the first thing he ever taught me. He's like, he has this sticky on his computer and it says, "I excuse myself from writing the perfect novel today."
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want
to.
you don't
You
want
don't want to what?
you don't want stress and anxiety over trying to be a perfectionist to override your ability to complete the story.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
I got to say, as the artist, I live with stress and anxiety to make things perfect every day. Can't. That's my OCD. It's like
That's just you, though. That's not.
mhm.
That's unhealthy. But whatever drives you.
It might be, but you know, that's why he goes and drinks. He's missing those drinks at the Anchor, right?
That's right. Yeah, missing the pub.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This is a tangent, but do you see there was this interesting video on YouTube I saw. Oh shoot. I know I have a bookmark somewhere, but they were talking about how in the UK they're starting to reopen pubs, but they're making it really uncomfortable for people because you go to a pub, you're expecting to interact and even to a much lesser extent, maybe even roughhouse with your best friends,
Mhm.
and be in close proximity with everyone. But they're trying to enforce social distancing and it's just going to be crazy and uncomfortable for people.
Dude, I have no idea what's going to go from here. Like, actually, I got invited to a pub date at the Ship and Anchor tonight with a friend, and I'm too busy working, so I passed on it. I've got an opening to get to on Tuesday, but I grew up going to pubs, for better or worse, when I was about 13, 14 years old, and I travel a fair bit. So, I mean, I'll go to a town, get settled in, and basically walk over to a pub, grab a beer, and then start walking around and meet people.
Yeah.
With social distancing, I don't know what that's going to look like now. Walking up to strangers, what the hell?
You're gonna have to stay 6 feet away with a bullhorn. Hey, how are you doing today?
Well, yeah. And I like noisy clubs. I like clubs that play like a good rock club, a good punk rock soundtrack, loud music.
Right.
Where you walk up to somebody and you actually have to everybody's been to like a concert or a club where you have to walk up to somebody and when it's been so loud you actually put your hand beside their ear and yell.
Yeah.
Can hear you. So those days are gone for now. That's for sure.
You actually have to yell in their ear. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's play this intro video again here.
Sure.
Sins of the Fae. I have it muted.
Yeah, this is a direct look at the process because this is before we changed her design.
That's right.
Sweet. Now, is it just me, or is the background on the logo a tree?
Yes, it's a tree.
Okay. All
There's
right.
lots going on there, buddy. That's the tree. It's integral to the story. So as I was getting into finding out what it is, the typography and logos are sort of what that. I mean, that's what my degree is in, is communication design. So I want that to give a sense of magic and the darkness and the sins and the blood red, and it's kind of coming into the roots of it, and then the leaves are spreading out. And there's sort of the generations of family, all that stuff, and yeah, and then the tree figures into the story throughout it. So, yep, it's there. It's called it's a tertiary read. So when a logo can convey one thing primarily, other things are secondary, and then there's third things that support it. So, yeah, we're happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, the idea is that Nikki herself is the scion or avatar. She's a child, basically, of the world tree. the Norwegian lore, the Nordic lore, Yggdrasil, the world tree, the tree that connects us all. She's a child of that tree, and her children, are, uh, you know, she wasn't supposed to be able to have her children. Like the a Fey progenitor or highborn like Owen and she were not supposed to be able to have kids. But since she is the child of the world tree, and the world tree connects all worlds and can create any world, another child of that tree is Uruku, like I told you, the silver oaks that can grow any plant. Well, she can, bear any seed, including the highborn. So she has children from him, and that's what's causing some of this issue.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy talk.
So since you, yeah, since you have it in the can, as they say, are you guys finding it hard to determine where the end of book one is, or is that already established?
Nah, it's pretty easy. The ending is easy.
Okay, all right. Because I wasn't sure.
The ending for this book.
Say again.
I was gonna say the ending for this book anyway. More or less, the way that I write is pretty specifically is that at the beginning of a chapter, a question is posed. By the end of that chapter, that question will be answered, and other questions will be posed, unless that's the end. And then it'll be like a bunch of questions about the entire plot. And so in this case, there's a question asked, and the question is, how is she going to take care of her family? How is she going to protect herself? And by the end of this first book, you will understand how she's going to protect herself.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so looking at the different perks or tiers, backer tiers, we've got the featured one, and I tell this to everyone. I love it when Indiegogo ComicsGate creators have a feature tier because it tells me, which one gives you the most bang for the buck, and the package that gives you the most inclusive experience and the best way to experience their book. So this gives us cover A and cover B. The ones that you highlighted here and here. These are just so cool. I love them. Let's see here. So 11 of those have been claimed so far already. And out of curiosity, it lists here estimated shipping December 2020. Have you already shipped some books to some people?
No,
oh wait, no.
we
Never mind. I'm all screwed up in the head. It's not even 2020. We haven't even hit December yet.
Not yet.
In the future.
We might get there.
Yeah, 2020 is fighting us the whole way there.
All right, so we got a digital copy. Out of curiosity, what are your guys' views with regards to digital copies? Is this more to help people who are international experience the book without having to pay the high shipping fees that they tend to have to pay?
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, I think, pragmatically speaking, we looked at it and said, well, digital will take me, some prep time. But once we start selling digital copies, it's basically free money. Every $10 is in our jeans to go make more stuff with. So it's a double, it's win-win thing.
Cool.
I thought everybody says, "Oh, I'm worried about it getting, copied or spread." I'm like, look, man, I don't want to say I'm a nobody, but I'm not a known artist by any means. So if people want to market our book for free, have at it.
I agree.
Yeah.
If it's heavily bootlegged and Reddit threads are popping up around the world, like, okay, go for it, guys. That's worth $10 a pop in promotion right there.
There you go. Yeah. One of the things I cite, there's a lot of flack given to pirating, but there's a certain amount in our community where, if there's something I'm interested in enough, then I might seek out an online version of it. Well, not when it comes to ComicsGate books. I've always wanted physical copies because comic books have always been a physical medium for me.
Yep.
And I don't like the digital experience from the few experiences I've had because I just don't like having to. I don't like the weird feeling of tapping on a corner or swiping to get to the cell I want to look at, and sometimes it's hard to return back to the cell I want to take a quick glance at and then return. It's just goofy that way. But like when it comes to music and movies, if I catch something, like that's not in the theater, for example, and I find that I thoroughly enjoy it, I'm going to make the extra effort and go buy a copy. So, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
And it is another way, depending on how you look at it, as another form of promotion.
Yeah, I watch so many movies the night before, if I can. Like I'll get a cam. I mean, shit, I saw Rise of Skywalker about 12 hours ahead of time, and then I went and saw it 2 more times. So, so I paid for it, but I also saw a cam.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm with you as far as digital. Like to me, like I'm an outlier in this community. I think I don't really read comic books. It's visual for me. So like I bought Captain Frog 3 times. I haven't read it yet. I've got one on my desk right here. I like, it's my attention span, but I'll flip through 10 pages and just look at it and go, okay, I know what's going on here, kind of. And then I'm not going to sit down for a few hours and read a comic book. This is not how that's not how I experience it.
Gotcha.
So I do have to read this book someday.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Eventually. Yeah, absolutely. I received a bunch of ComicsGate comic books that I have to read myself. I guess it's a balancing act. I'm trying to create content for my channel, but at the same time, I really want to read these books that I backed because I'm excited about them. Now we have the tier that has Sins of the Fae cover A. So that's the first one. That's the original cover, right? And then the red and orange one is considered the variant?
Correct. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we have that. That is one of the pages in the book, and we changed the color of it to be a cover because we started to look at it. We've always loved that page. Wasn't that the first one you did?
Yeah, I think either that one or the one with Granny crouching from the front shot. But yeah, I did those both that first week.
It was one of those, and we got it, and it was one of the, like, everybody that saw it loved it immediately. They still do, but we just changed the color of it to make it a little bit more mystical, a little bit more magical looking, and made it a cover because everybody just loves that print so much.
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool. It gives me like manga vibes, and you got these horizontal lines showing like energy and motion, and this character, the silhouette, kind of reminds me of almost like a mech, a combination of like a dwarf or a mech. But I don't know. That's just me. Or a dwarf samurai mech.
Okay,
it's grainy, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an old lady, but sure.
Oh shit!
It's an old woman about to die.
All right.
The idea is that there's a barrier that's been protecting them.
All right.
And the creatures outside break the barrier when they didn't think they could. So now all of a sudden the fire comes in and it's like a firestorm. It just fills up the inside of the barrier. So you're looking through the fire at them dying.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
when I said before, like, I said I'm not afraid of color. That's a pretty good example. Like, I do a lot of. I'm not precious about the lines that come to me. Like, I get black and whites from the artist, then I
Uh-huh.
just go do my thing. So I mean, that couldn't be more intense. And
Yeah,
most guys like seeing their stuff interpreted like that. So it's a lot of fun to do.
for sure. That's so cool. Let's see. So that was Sins of the Fake cover B. And then we've got original paintings by WyzGyz.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 12 claimed.
Yeah.
12 by 12, ready to hang, acrylic on canvas.
Yep.
How long does it take to paint one of these?
Well, depending on how many of these we get, I mean, I'm going to, I've been doing that for almost my whole life. And when I started doing corporate commissions, I just like the square foot size. It's something you can hang up in, in your bedroom, in your kitchen, your living room, whatever. Or you can put 3 of them, do a triptych.
Oh yeah.
So there's not a lot of space, a lot of square footage to cover. Obviously, it's 1 square foot. So I mean, I'm going to play with it, and I like kind of like my colors. I like weird paints. So there's something called interference colors. You guys, when you see like a tuner, like the cars, and depending on the angle you look at it, you get a complementary or an inverted color. Right. So I like that stuff. And I like metallic paints that have actual metal flakes in them.
Oh my god.
I'm going to be really belaboring these things. So I'm going to spend, I mean, if I've got 4 to do, I'm going to do them all at the same time, kind of production line.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
There'll be a good day in that for sure.
So they've got artist paints you can use now that have the metallic flake in it, like you would use on a car. Well, maybe not the same style of paint per se, but there are artist paints that have metallic flake in them.
Yeah, it's I've been aware of them since I started painting, so a good 20 plus years. So it's called Liquitex. That's the highest. That's an artist grade acrylic. That's what most artists use. It's pH neutral for like thousands of years on pH neutral canvas. But like, have you ever seen the lining of a blazer, like even a tacky one, right?
All right. Uh-huh.
And from where the light's hitting it, it might be pink, but it might be blue from the other in the shadow part.
Yeah.
Or when you see like some teenagers downtown with like chopped like little RX-7 with like the fins on the back, that kind of stuff. That's the same kind of thing. That's how it works, and it bends the light.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then you can buy silver, titanium, steel, all of those paints, and they cost a fortune. Little tiny bottles. I think they're 8 fluid ounces.
Oh.
And they contain the stuff in them.
Oh man. Now, are these paints that you apply by brush, or are the particles small enough to where you could put them in an airbrush if you needed to?
I've done airbrushing, but no, this will be old school. Like a palette. I'll put on a beret. I'll twirl my mustache and just paintbrush and an old Slurpee cup of water and just start painting.
How cool is that? Oh man.
Water, huh?
Yeah.
Now, if you do, let's take that example. You get 4 canvas paintings requested. Mm-hmm. You do a production line style. So, do you envision doing the same image from up on each of the 4, or are you planning on doing like different images entirely? Or are you gonna like pick your favorite scene in the book in like one of the cells, and then recreate it on canvas?
That's a great question. I'll be honest. I think it depends how busy I am. If I've got a bunch of stuff to do, I might pick a favorite panel. Something inset. Probably a Nikki portrait is pretty much the plan. Kind of what you see there. That's just from one of my old concept drawings. I might do something pretty close to that. But if I've got some time to spare, then I might actually get crazy and do a few different ones. Plus, at that price point, that's not cheap. So I would see it being realistic to actually contact who buys them and say, hey, would you have a, do you want a particular panel on this?
Gotcha.
Yeah, good question.
And then let's see, 12 by 12 on that. Here's a stupid, silly question. When it comes to displaying artwork that's on canvas, do you traditionally, like if you're just displaying it in a home,
Mhm.
not in some museum or anything, but is canvas typically displayed just as is, or do people actually frame canvas artwork?
Yeah, I think you can do both. I think most people just basically stick a nail in the wall and call it a day. I mean, that's what I do. And I've got some canvases that go back, and it's from work with some of my friends of mine have done. Like, again, decades old. And yeah, I mean, if the sun hits it, it can fade a little bit. It can get dusty, but you can wipe it down with with a cloth anyway. But yeah, there's you can put canvas behind glass and have it matted, and it looks amazing. It's going to cost you some money to get that done custom, but it's sure either way.
I imagine so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember my stepdad was into photography, and when he went to Alaska, he took lots of black and white photos on traditional print. Traditional 35 millimeter or even the older style cameras. And then he had select images, his favorites, transferred to canvas.
Cool.
So that's pretty sweet, and I always wanted to display them. But something like that would be awesome too. Like one of your pieces here. Let's see here.
Well, you know where to find me. Yeah.
Yep. Original pinups by Joe Sanchez. 11 by 14 original pinup of Nikki Carroll Moore on Bristol with full pencil and ink. Nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So there's a total, the max of 5 of those. All right. Sweet.
Yeah, we already got Joe busy, so yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Say again?
So we already have Joe busy, so we had to be limited with those if any
Oh.
come in.
Yeah. With you pretty much having this this story in the can, have you already started working on all the components of book 2, or are you just fine-tuning what's left of book 1 and getting ready for actually you still have a ways before you have to even fulfill. You still got lots of time, it's like.
We put in 4 months of production time and 2 months of fulfillment time is the way we figured it out, and we're like, okay, this should give us plenty of time to do both. That gives us, and if we're able to do it before then, we will, and that'll be in the updates.
So what do you anticipate doing now until you fulfill, if most everything's already done?
Well,
keeping busy, in other words.
From here, I mean, we just changed up the dialogue just a week or so ago on 2 of the spreads, so that needs to be re-lettered. There's a prologue we've got to write and typeset that just something we wanted to get done. There are all the sound effects to be done. There's all of the incorporating the runic alphabet into it, and those things take we get on StreamYard, we'll go for 4 hours and just really slowly go through the thing page by page. So we could that'll keep us busy for a couple months if we want to. So
yeah, so you can get it just right, especially with this being your first campaign. This is so freaking cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Damn.
We're glad you like it, man. We like it.
Yeah.
We put a lot of work into it.
Yeah. I'm loving it. You're almost at your first stretch goal, which is the 3,000 mark. and I am in the wrong place. Where did it go? Oh, at 5,000, we're looking at stickers and pins, and 15,000, third variant cover available. Oh, with regards to stickers, are we talking about the kind you slap on paper or on your notebook or your trapper keeper? Or do you?
Go ahead.
I think for stickers, we did a test run. It was a Christmas gift, and I did it with Buddy for something else. And there was a service that did these just perfect die cut stickers as for short run, because we're not going to be doing 10,000. We're going to be doing a few hundred or what have you. So I don't know, Buddy, do you remember who that was? Because they were great.
It was Sticker Mule.
Yeah, Sticker Mule.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Great stuff. So, yep, that is
And they
the
do
plan.
pins too, so I'll probably just go through them unless I hear they're not good. I know that like Peter Smetty has a really good pin service, so I might go through whoever he uses. But we're gonna get nice pins, nice stickers. If we get to that point, everybody will be really happy with them. Because again, we're not at 5,000, you're not looking at more. I mean, that's like 200, something like that at 25 average buy-in. So, that would be like maybe 200, probably a little bit less, like 160. And that's more than fine to get stickers and pins. We hope we hope as we go through these shows and we get some momentum that we can get to the third variant cover, because I'd really like for everybody to see that.
Yep.
Sure.
If not, we'll save that too.
So is the third variant cover actually already done and colored and everything?
I'll say pretty close. Yeah, that's on my high priority list right now.
Wow. Dang.
Yep.
You guys are doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It said that whenever you are doing an Indiegogo campaign that you want to have a good number of pages already completed before you even launch. Let's see.
I mean, I think we have more than I haven't seen anybody else do fully finished colored lettered pages to the degree that we have, and that was just response to the courteous sort of debacle. That's all.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
Incidentally, I don't know if it came up yet, but we want to do a pre-release digital short run, like a few dozen, and we're going to basically send them off by mail. And that's pending a few pages we're waiting on now for Joe to finish, for me to color. And I want to send those to people in the community who have the bigger shows. And, hey, dude, what's your address? Send them a book, send them a T-shirt, and have people who actually can pull it up on camera and flip through it and say, wow, this really is it's a real thing, because I'm holding it and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
definitely awesome. Do you envision this being the type of project or IP that would translate well to bumper stickers? Because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I've always been kind of attracted to bumper stickers as of late, and it seems like nobody really does bumper stickers in ComicsGate right now. Maybe there's just not enough demand, or but most everyone seems to be keen on bookmarks, stickers, pins. I know you did mention T-shirts, which I'm pleased to hear, because T-shirts rock. So hopefully you were planning on making T-shirts available in the tier in the future.
So T-shirts are there as I believe it's on the checkout process, and we've got a store already up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we've got a store up with TeePublic. And yeah, it's the logo shirt, and they look great. I mean, that logo, it wants to be a T-shirt.
So, I'm sorry, is it tpublic.com?
Yeah, you know what? We should have the link in there somewhere, shouldn't we?
Let's see.
There, I'll find it.
I might have missed it. Let's see. Maybe it's in their FAQ. 90% of
Got it right.
If
you look in the private, or what's that? Oh, that's it.
storing. All right, so no updates or comments yet. Would it be under Blade Knight Productions?
It is there, but I'm just gonna give it to you in the private chat here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I got it too. Here. Boom. There you go. Oh, you did it too. Okay. All right. Yeah. So good looking shirt. That's not the business we're in, but hopefully we can get some, a few sales, a few fans.
Yeah, for sure.
I owe a few of the bigger show hosts T-shirts as we speak.
Oh, okay. All right.
In fact, yeah, buddy, there's another meeting we gotta talk about that.
About what's
we gotta
talk about nothing.
No, we gotta mail out some shirts. We gotta mail some shirts out here this next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were at that point yet.
Just a couple.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that. All right. Oh, sweet. You know what? Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah.
And we have masks and we have mugs too.
Are you serious?
Very serious.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
And you got lots of colors to choose from too.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat.
Let me see. Do I need to go here first? Wait, do you actually have all this available with that logo?
Yes. Although I'll be honest with you. I mean, TeePublic makes it pretty easy. You get them a logo and you sort of pick what you want to add to it. So.
Yes, it's a print-on-demand service.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we didn't spend $50,000 and pre-order all this stuff.
Well, yeah. I'm a huge fan of print-on-demand stuff.
What? I wasn't supposed to do that? No, it's sitting in an Amazon warehouse. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I got to say, and to anybody listening later too, that's TeePublic. I've been using them for about 4 or 5 years. In fact, I did these silly T-shirts to take to Comic-Con, hand out, and I mean, I've still got some that I've been washing and just wearing around the house for like 4+ years. They're fantastic. So yeah, these guys are great.
Nice.
Yep.
TeePublic.
Yep.
I think there's a competitor, Teespring.
Yeah, there's Teespring, there's Redbubble, there's there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Well, Teespring, I think, bought Redbubble.
Yep, I think that's true.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Teespring, yeah, but Teespring's got a thing going on with one of the people in our community named Purity Sin right now, because they said the cover or something that she made of her own comic book was copywritten material from somebody else.
Yeah,
so
oh man.
They claimed all her money and discontinued her product line, and she's fighting that with a lawyer, as far as I know. I don't want to speak for her or to that situation without knowing, but as far as I know, she's seeking legal assistance in that matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I heard the same thing. I saw a video covering that. That's crazy. It's enough to have driven me away from TeePublic. Oh man, the fact.
But wait, that was Teespring though, right? Not TeePublic.
Teespring, sorry. Yeah, it was Teespring.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Teespring. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So it looks like you already have pins available. It's just a matter of ordering them and then printing on demand. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's. Don't forget to bring up the mask. There you
go. In the wrong place. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go back. It's a little.
There you go.
Cover logo mask.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good looking mask.
Coworkers will be like, "What is Sins of the Fae?" I'll be, "Well, let me tell you."
It protects you from COVID, don't you know?
There you go.
Mm.
Right on. That's great.
Yep. So
Basic. Oh, I thought there was going to be drop down and it'll say something like that. What is that other one called? N90 or something like that?
yeah, there's a fancy one actually. I forget.
I
They've
thought,
been having trouble getting these in stock. When we first did it, they were sold out a couple weeks
really?
ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my parents ordered one though. They got it, or two of them. They have them.
That's cool.
Nice.
They sent me a picture wearing them. I was like, cool guys.
That is so awesome when you got your family behind you. So cool.
Mhm.
Such a cool project, such a cool book. Let's see here. Da-da-da. All right. All right. And let's play the trailer once more.
Sure.
Oops. Stop screen. Share screen.
Don't forget the audio tab.
Yeah.
It's a lot of steps.
Share screen, share audio, unmute.
Yeah.
It's share Chrome tab.
Exactly. Let me jump back and make sure I'm sharing the right thing. Yep. Whew. And let's see here. Oops. Would help if I tapped on the right one. Woo.
Cool.
Nice.
There it is.
Fantastic. That is freaking phenomenal. Thank you both for coming on. I greatly appreciate it.
Mhm.
So everybody back, Sins of the Fae. Let's get this higher. And we got 50 days left. Is that the most current? Am I looking?
Yep.
So,
All right. Oops.
and yeah, back at you, man. Thanks for having us on. It's I wasn't even aware of you till today. It's weird. We assume we all know the same people. I'm like, huh, don't know. So much appreciated.
Well, isn't that a surprise? I only hit 113 subscribers just recently.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
still pretty small.
Sure.
But I've spent a lot of time so far back promoting Indiegogo creators. So
Mhm.
I'm going to continue spending a lot of time doing that while also trying to build my channel in other ways. So, buddy, would you tell everyone how everyone could reach you?
Sure, man. You can reach me at the Buddy Lord on Twitter, or you can go to bladenight.com and sign up for the mailing list. I send out an update about once a week, not too much. I don't want to inundate anybody. It's just how we're doing, because Blade Knight Productions is the company that I've created to produce Sins of the Fae. Later on, we have another book that is in the same kind of vein, sort of like Christian mythology, called Sway, that a lot of people are excited for. Um, so we have a few products down, in the pipe, and would love to keep making books and selling them to people, because the entertainment that we we used to love is been changed drastically and kind of turned into a like a seminal pamphlet for the extreme left wing.
Yeah.
And I would like to bring entertainment back to just being fun.
Oh yeah, that's what we're all looking for. And the
Mhm.
I call it
mainstream comics just don't get it.
exactly. I call it heroes, hope, and humor. That's what we need.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, darn straight. Um, are you predominantly going to be releasing updates regarding these books, such as Sins of the Fae, on the website, or are you also going to do updates on the campaign updates tab as well?
Oh, I'll be doing updates on both. I'll definitely be sending things through the first thing that we're going to do is once we have some line work for the new character, we believe that's update worthy. So I'm going to pass that on to the into the update so that people can see that and they can look at what's coming, at them, since they did go ahead and back this book.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And also keep an eye on either our Twitters. I always, every couple of days. I mean, by the time, if I've got new art in here tonight, I'll color it up by tomorrow. It'll be on my Twitter within a day.
Nice.
So I'm VBS on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. So check it out. I usually have either cool art or spicy takes on stuff that bugs me. Either way.
Do you do those time lapse videos?
I haven't. Maybe I should one of these days. Like do a full color through. That could be fun.
That'd be trippy. Yeah, I enjoy those artist time lapse videos myself. On a similar token, I know this sounds awkward, but buddy, have you considered a time lapse script or a screenplay where you start writing and then you see the progression of a blank?
That would be the most boring thing ever.
Yeah, no kidding.
People would be like, okay, there's words. All right, he changed a comma.
Yeah.
He changed a comma, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not get too excited. Okay, he told us the word. The word over there. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, okay, and I could do like a voiceover.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, he's launching Grammarly. Grammarly is booting. Grammarly's booting. Okay, he had there when it should have been there. Okay, and he's fixed it. Okay, fine, replace. Yeah, good times.
Exactly.
Exactly. You got that nice, calming, soothing voice to accompany the edits and the writing. Oh man, that's genius.
Yeah. Sure. That could be our ASMR. We could make millions.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God. I could just imagine.
Multiple forms of revenue. There we have it. Right.
That's right. Build the platform.
Awesome. Yeah, I do think you should do time-lapse videos, especially since you're an artist. That would be so cool. Let's see. Oh, and so I'm on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets and on YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment and under Twitch under WyzGyz Twitches. Yeah. Eventually, I'm going to try and expand into gaming as well. All right. Cool. So thank you both for your company today, and it's been an honor and greatly appreciated. I love the work. I'm looking forward to backing this book. And yeah, any last words from either of you before we end the broadcast?
No, thanks for having us, man. And anybody listening on replay, have a good night. Thanks for listening to us.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I say thanks for listening to us. Be safe out there and be excellent to each other.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so very much. That's it in broadcast.